Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. The death toll in the meningitis outbreak in Nigeria is now above 1,000. A statement by the country's Center for Disease Control put the death toll at 1,069 persons. The outbreak is the worst ever experienced in Nigeria and has affected mostly children. The CDC says the epidemic has begun to ease as rain has started to return in some of the affected states. As of May 9, 2017, a total of 13,420 suspected cases had been reported in 23 states. The states affected by the outbreak are Zamfara, Sokoto, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, and Yobe State. The National Assembly has finally passed the 2017 budget into law. The budget was first passed by the House of Representatives after a rowdy session before the Nigerian Senate gave a nod to the document. It will now be forwarded to Acting President Yemi Osinbajo for assent. Presented by President Buhari to the National Assembly in December last year, the budget was earmarked at about 7.29 trillion naira. It has now risen to 7.44 trillion naira. The National Assembly has published the details of its 2017 budget. The document shows the National Assembly takes 125 billion naira out of the country's 7.44 trillion naira budget. Total overhead costs account for a huge cost of the budget with over 85 million naira, while personal cost stands at 23 million naira. The Senate's capital budget stands at over 14 million naira. 2 Nigerians have been shot dead in the Western Cape province of South Africa. Mike Ibitoye, chairman of the Nigerian Union in the country, confirmed this. He said the deceased, identified as Ernest Ugwokwesili and Chimeze Oranusi, were shot by unknown assailants. The chairman said the motive behind the shootings had not been established, adding that the police had already commenced investigations into the incident. Nigerian workers at U.S. oil firm ExxonMobil Coal have begun a nationwide strike in protest over the mass sacking of some of its workers. Nigerian labor unions have criticized oil companies for sacking workers in the last few months as a result of a number of strikes. Abel Agarin, who chairs the Lagos zone of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasin, said members of his union were protesting the sacking of 150 workers in December last year. He said 82 were Pengasin members. The strikes are being held in Lagos, Bonny, Akwa Ibom, as well as in Port Harcourt. An appeal court in Lagos State has overturned the 5-year prison sentence slammed on a former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration Safety Agency, NIMASA, Raymond Omasheye. A federal high court in Lagos had convicted and sentenced Omasheye after finding him guilty on 24 out of 27 count charges bordering on bid rigging and contract splitting. However, he appealed the judgment and the court has now ruled in his favor. Justice Yagata Nimpa, in her judgment, said the High Court did not properly evaluate the evidence in the trial. Delta State's House of Assembly has impeached its Speaker Monday Ibuya over allegations of financial misappropriation and high-handedness. Ibuya was impeached on Thursday alongside the majority leader of the House, Tim Owefere. The Speaker's impeachment came after 22 out of the 29 members of the House voted for his removal. Meanwhile, Sheriff Oboreveri, a lawmaker representing Okwe constituency, has been elected as the new leader. Suspected herdsmen have killed 1 police inspector and injured 3 others in an ambush in Delta State, southern Nigeria. The incident, which has been confirmed by police command in the state, happened on Wednesday evening. The police say they have begun a manhunt for the suspects and are committed to apprehending the criminals eventually. The Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, NLNG, has expressed strong displeasure over the passage of the NLNG Amendment Bill in the House of Representatives. The bill, which scaled through third reading in the lower house on Tuesday, would still have to scale through the Senate and assented to by the President before it can become a law in the country. The amendment requires NLNG to make a payment equivalent to 3% of its annual budget to the Nigerian Delta Development Commission. However, the management of the NLNG say the passage of the bill is not in Nigeria's national interest and is calling on the Nigerian Senate to turn it down.
Any amendment will also mean an immediate potential loss of foreign investment of 25 billion US dollars in respect of trains 7 and 8 investments. And let me break that 25 billion down. 15 billion by gas producing and supplying companies, and 10 billion for construction of the trains themselves. But with this amendment and investor confidence badly shaken, we might as well say goodbye to those. It will lead to potential loss of 18,000 jobs. The expected 18,000 construction jobs for trains 7 and 8 will also be lost if the Act is amended. In the National Assembly, in the executive, even in the private sector, are all involved in this committee or action to ensure that we ease business in Nigeria. This is a direct blow on all that work. It's a direct affront. It's a missile aimed at the ease of doing business.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, says the Nigerian police force requires additional 155,000 personnel to adequately provide security for the nation. Idris, who said this at a 2-day National Security Summit in Abuja, said to achieve this, the force needs to recruit about 31,000 officials annually for 5 years. He said the police had not conducted recruitment into its rank and file cadre since 2011 until 2016, when the recruitment of 10,000 applicants was approved by the federal government. He said this development had left a huge gap in the manpower need of the force due to retirement, deaths, and resignations. The Nigerian Customs Service has announced some key appointments to readjust the service towards greater efficiency. Joseph Atta, the Public Relations Officer of the service, revealed this in a statement he issued to newsmen. Atta said the service has appointed 4 acting Deputy Comptroller Generals and 7 acting Assistant Comptroller Generals to re-engineer the management for efficient service delivery of the service.
Corruption not in my country.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
But that's how we roll.
Because then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I just do business like that now. Yeah.
Hey, that can give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss. Rubbish.
But it is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make una really add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Up next is Business News with Fidelia Aguncha.
Thank you, Thelma. Nigeria sold fewer bonds at auction than expected as the yield on offer failed to attract foreign investors who were worried about currency risk. The debt management office raised 110 billion naira of the 140 billion naira it had targeted. The auction took place on Wednesday and the results were announced on Thursday. Traders say subscriptions were low because yields were priced lower than the inflation rate. Rating agency Moody Investor Service has predicted that Nigeria's dollar liquidity constraints are likely to persist for the foreseeable future. According to a report by the agency, dollar usage in the country is unlikely to return to previous levels despite recent progress in foreign exchange liquidity. The rating agency, however, predicted a 2.5% growth in Nigeria's GDP for 2017 and a 4% growth in 2018. Nigerian banks are now making the switch to digital banking, which is believed to be the future of banking. According to a report by research specialists, nearly 3 billion users will access retail banking services through smartphones, tablets, PCs, and smartwatches globally by 2021, which would be a 53% increase from this year. The digital banking platform is expected to make electronic payments safe, simple, and smart. Kunle Esho, a banker who spoke to one of our correspondents, said the digital banking platform will encourage foreign investors to come in and do business with ease.
From every indication today, the future of the banking industry seems to be towards digital banking, and this is basically because of basic three reasons actually driving it. One, we have rapidly increasing talent penetration across every market, both Nigeria and globally, and we have smartphone adoption. Basically today, a lot of people, a lot of individuals are actually adopting smartphone, which actually puts a lot of activities, a lot of transaction focus on the smartphone. And the third one is increasing and perhaps expanding networks almost everywhere. So a lot of people today hardly want to go to banking now for banking services. They want to, at their own relaxed confidence, be able to transfer business without being threatened by hackers and whatever.
While Kunle says a lot of Nigerians are now making use of the digital banking platform, the worry for some is the fear of hackers taking over the program.
Or the kind of criminal activities being perpetrated through the internet is awesome. You can't begin to put figure to it. And we've had cases of people losing millions of dollars, billions of naira through the internet fraud. So efforts are being made to try and ring-fence transactions that are being done on internet. Well, it's only when you can secure services or transactions on the internet. In other words, you are preventing hackers from hacking into people's bank accounts, preventing criminals from infiltrating transactions and services being rendered to customers. And so if internet banking is the future of banking system in Nigeria, then we need to start thinking as individual organizations and as a country of how much of security we need to build around that digital banking industry to make it more attractive to individuals, to prospects and existing investors in that industry.
Oil prices rose on Thursday after a bigger than expected cut in Saudi supplies to Asia helped tighten the market. Brent crude was up 70 cents to trade at $50.92 a barrel, while US crude rose by 75 cents to trade at $48.8 a barrel. OPEC meet on May 25th to decide on production policy for the second half of 2017, and most analysts expect the group to extend cuts until at least the end of the year. The body has reduced output as promised, but there has been few signs so far that supplies has fallen significantly, as producers have shielded many key customers, especially in Asia, from the cuts. That's all on business. More stories coming up. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so.
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Protesters demanding better housing clashed with police officials in Johannesburg townships for the fourth straight day on Thursday. Police fired tear gas to disperse the crowds in Enadel Township south of the economic capital after residents blocked roads with rocks and burnt tires. Some schools and businesses were also closed due to the protests. The government urged residents to stop violence, intimidation and looting while pushing their demands. Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe is seeking advanced treatment in Singapore for eye problems caused by old age. This is according to an official in his government. Local private media reports that Mugabe has prostate cancer. This has been denied by government officials. Ayotunde Phillips, former Chief Judge of Lagos State, has been elected as a member of FIFA Ethics Committee. The announcement was made on Thursday at the ongoing 67th FIFA Congress in Bahrain. The new FIFA Ethics Committee is headed by Vasilios Skouris, the longest-serving president of the European Court of Justice. Phillips is the only African elected in the committee. Champions League holders Real Madrid will face Italian champions Juventus as they seek to defend the title. The Spaniards are also looking to make history as they seek to become the first side to win the Champions League 2 times in a row. Juventus, meanwhile, will be seeking a winning change after losing their last 3 finals since winning in 1996. The finals are scheduled to take place on June 3, 2017. A U.S.-led joint bid for the 2026 World Cup tournament is scheduled to meet President Donald Trump later this month. The bid, which has Mexico and Canada as the other countries, will meet Trump to discuss issues ranging from his immigration policy and plans to build a wall in the U.S.-Mexico border. The triple bid is currently the official bid for the 2026 World Cup, though FIFA has extended the deadline for bidding. The host to be chosen by FIFA on June 13, 2018. That's all we have on news now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.